Splunk App for HadoopOps is an end-to-end monitoring and troubleshooting for Hadoop. It enables us to monitor the Hadoop cluster as well as the surrounding elements that supports Hadoop, like the network, the operating system, and the database. It also enables us to integrate an alerting system to track and respond to any activities from MapReduce to any issues with the individual nodes in the cluster. And with that, let's go and look at the application. When we log into HadoopOps, we see four different panels: the components, the utilization, the activities, and the headlines or alerts. In the components, we see all the HDFS and MapReduce nodes on a high level. We look at the utilization to see the capacity of our disk, to see memory used by the cluster. In the activities, we can see the number of map or reduces that ran within the last 7 days. And in the headlines, we can see the recent alerts that happen in our cluster. Another important element of the homepage is the ability to manage services. The Manage Services option enables a Hadoop administrator to look at individual nodes and either decide to monitor them or not. For example, if a particular node belongs to the development cluster or the QA cluster, the administrator may decide not to monitor those nodes while keeping only the production nodes available for monitoring. The Nodes subtab allows the Hadoop administrator to see all the available nodes as they are related to the rack in which they are residing in. For example, in this case, we see several nodes in rack 1, in rack 2, and in rack 3, as well as we can see that one of the nodes is actually down at this particular point. In addition to that, the heat map display allows us to look at the CPU, memory, I/O, and disk of each individual node in the cluster, as well as the way they relate to each other. So for example, if I just went to the heat map and I selected the disk option, HadoopOps goes and inspect the cluster and compare each node to the other nodes in the cluster and show us which nodes have better disk utilization and which ones we should be worried about. Another option here is to select a specific node, and HadoopOps shows us the individual statistics for that particular node as far as CPU, memory, or disk, and a few other items for this particular node. Other subtabs includes the activities, which is designed for currently running MapReduce. The job history subtabs is for historical MapReduce. The settings for enable us to configure HadoopOps itself, and the search, which allows us to search in the Hadoop cluster for any items that came from logs or PS or top commands. So let's dive into the job history subtab. Clicking on the job history subtab, we see all the jobs that ran from within this last month. However, we can also drill down to this last hour, to the last 15 minutes. We can also filter by the job name or user that actually ran those jobs, as well as if we expand the specific job, we can see other statistics and other information about this job. For example, in this case, we see the CPU per second. We can see how long it took this job to run. We can see the HDFS read elements as well as HDFS writes and many other items that are related and very important to this particular for this particular job. If we are to select the search subtab, we can search for any items available in the Hadoop cluster. So for example, we can type index equals Hadoop configuration, search for it, and HadoopOps looks at our cluster that give us all the configuration that's available through the HDFS site.xml and map-read site.xml and a few other configuration files that is available throughout the Hadoop ecosystem. To download and try this application, please go to Splunk Base, and in Splunk Base either search for the word Hadoop, or if this application available on the front page, that's great. Just select it and you'll be able to see the option to download HadoopOps. You'll be able to see a link to the user documentation or to the release notes. Thank you.